What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Frankie Bones, and in today's video, hopping on the subway for the Subway Series up in Queens. The Yankees and the Mets end up splitting this series 1-1. Plenty of interesting things to talk about. Two really close games, some key takeaways, injury news, and who is on deck. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new to not miss out on any Yankees content coming in the future. So to kick things off, as you always should, we'll start with game number 1. The Yankees end up winning this game by a score of 7-6. Close one throughout here. Sevy and Mad Max both have really bad starts in this one, and Sevy ends up sort of settling down. He ends up going 5. Max, I think, was pulled in the third, I believe. He sort of an uncharacteristic game from him. Yankees were jumping on him. Same thing with Sevy, giving up some home runs as well. But after that, Stanton did actually hit a big home run in the first inning off of Max to left center. DJ LeMahieu comes through with a 2-run shot, big confidence booster for him, as the other guys on the Yankees help out as well. Mainly Bowers and Anthony Volpe as well with a nice double. And the last note on this, it's a close one. And it's a close one throughout. It's a battle down the end. The Yankees getting a little bit of a jam in the 8th. Who comes in but Clay Holmes? And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He is back. Gets 2 massive strikeouts in the inning. And he's getting that confidence back. He's getting rolling. And we'll talk a little bit about him a little bit later on in the key takeaways. In game number 2, which was last night, the Mets end up taking this one by a score of 4-3 in extras in the 10th. We have a starting pitching duel to start off. Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander. 2 incredible matchups. You know, at the beginning of the season, you'd say, oh my gosh, maybe 2 of the best games of the year. But without Judge, without Alonso, and basically just how the seasons are going for both teams, wears off a little bit, but we did get a reminder of these pitchers. They both pitched really well. Garrett with another great start, only allowing 1, going 6, and a bunch of Ks as well. Jimmy Cordero comes in. He has a lackluster performance. You know, some of these things will happen. The bullpen has been used a lot recently, and they've been coming through, so you know, hard to say that it was a bad outing, but it kind of was. He gave up 2. And a crazy turning point in this game, IKF steals home. Jackie Robinson style, lefty on the mound, just sort of not paying attention. IKF sizing him up and then eventually makes the break for the plate. And a wild pitch helps him get home. Really, really awesome sequence, and love to see that from him. Love to see the aggressiveness, just him really being an impact on the game as he has been over the past few weeks. And ultimately, in the end, the Yankees still having trouble for some reason with producing runs in extra innings. It's definitely attributed to that small ball stuff that the Yankees are having trouble with, not able to get that run across. The Mets end up doing so in the bottom half. So, moving on to our key takeaways. First thing that I want to talk about is Luis Severino. His second bad start in a row, really third bad start in a row. Velocity was down to start. He ended up rebounding a little bit, being able to get it up to 97 or so in some of the later innings. And it's just kind of odd. I'm not sure if it's his confidence, not sure if it's him just working back into the routine of starting, every 5 days, being ready to go, his body just sort of catching up after the injury, but have to sort of ask yourself what's up, and, hopefully he's able to figure this out. Really need him as a solid part of this rotation. That's what we thought we were getting back. Obviously, Sevy is an absolute gamer. I have no doubt that he's going to continue to battle and will improve over the next few starts, but against a struggling Mets team, really not the start that I was looking for overall. Obviously, we get the win in that game, but certainly some flags are up and some things to look at over the next few starts. Moving on to our second key takeaway, Garrett Cole. He's back to form. He was absolutely dominant last night. Trailed off a little bit at the end, but throughout the early innings, he was absolutely dominant. His game plan was excellent. His command was there. And, just seems like he's back and rolling with some of the changes that he's made. I think just mainly in his approach, his stuff has always been good. But sort of parlaying off of this takeaway, can't be losing games when Garrett Cole is on the mound. Pitched really, really well, only ended up allowing one. And you have to put yourself in a position to run away with those games where you put yourself in such an advantage. Obviously, Justin Verlander pitched well on the other side, but really just can't be dropping games with the big dog on the mound. The next takeaway is Bauers, and I think, in my opinion, he's essentially locked up. That other outfield spot most likely will be in left field. He doesn't really play center, he plays corners, but I think he sort of locked up the spot in left when Giancarlo will not be out in left field. Obviously, he'll be rotating guys in and out, but I think with his bat, he's been very impactful. He seems to be coming through in some big spots. The power is there, and he's made some really nice plays with the glove. Now, in the 10th last night, kind of think he took a weird angle to the ball that ended up dropping for the game-winning hit. But, that happens. He's an infielder converted to the outfield. I think that he still made some really impressive plays out there, and, that sort of stuff happens. But I think he essentially locked down that spot, especially as the roster continues to solidify. Obviously, we have Bader and Judge both on the IL right now, who we'll talk about momentarily, but I think overall he's done enough to earn that spot once we start getting closer to 100%. And finally, we'll talk about Clay Holmes. He really might be that dude again. He has just been dominant. His stuff has looked really good. Talked about it in the last video. I think the introduction of the sweeper has been big to him. Just give his ball another aspect of life for hitters to look at. The sweeper, a little bit more horizontal break as opposed to vertically with the slider. He keeps his slider nice and tight, so sometimes you can really key in on what sort of spin and what direction the ball is moving in for him. It's either going in or out, both sharp and hard, so just a different pitch mix for him. And overall, I think that the impact and the difference maker for him, the stuff has been really good. He's done a good job of staying on top of that sinker as opposed to sliding off to the side a little bit. That causes the ball to run and sort of stay up when you're on top. It causes that great movement down and in, especially to righties, and gives that ball a lot of movement and a lot of bite, I guess you could say, and sort of makes it dive. So stuff has been good. Slider command has been great. The pitch mix, sort of goes hand in hand with that, with the stuff. And ultimately, I think his confidence is back. And as somebody who's a back-end reliever, I think it's really important to be able to have that confidence in yourself, only coming in the highest of leverage situations. He did so in game number 1 and came through once again. He's almost at, I think it's one of his last 19 starts where he's gave up an earned run. And he's just looked really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing him continue this trend and really be a solidifying factor and an anchor for this Yankees bullpen that has been tops in the MLB. Moving on to injury news, we'll talk about Aaron Judge. And the only thing right now is that it's an unknown. Aaron Boone really doesn't know too much or doesn't want to share too much. In my last video, I said that he continues to improve. Just another notable quote that Aaron Boone had. He said, "When it happens, it will happen quick." But at this point, we're not quite at that point. So looking forward to seeing when he will rejoin the team. We do have a lot of off days this month, which does play into our favor. Obviously, we know the record with Aaron Judge in the lineup as opposed to being out. So hopefully some updates in the next video. Moving on to Carlos Rodon. Same sort of update as in the last video. He'll be facing hitters in Somerset today, him and Ian Hamilton. Not going to include the ham bone here in this injury news, but they'll both be throwing live BPs down there. Believe that was initially the plan from the last video, not a rehab start or anything like that, just throwing some live BP. So in the next video, we'll have some updates for you guys with how he's feeling after that, and ultimately what some next steps might be here in the road to recovery for him. In terms of Nestor Cortez, he's still in that no-throw period. Aaron Boone said following the shot, I assume that's a cortisone shot, but really no updates on him, as I don't believe he started the throwing process again, so we'll have to see what happens. I think Vasquez has deserved to get these starts and has looked good when filling in for some guys, so I'd expect to see him in the rotation as a prop for now, but at this moment, no updates on Nestor as well. And finally, we'll talk about Harrison Bader. He had a rehab assignment in Somerset last night. Unfortunately, was not able to make it to be your man on the inside. He was 0 for 4 with 2 Ks, but as was sort of reported this week leading up to the game, is that he is expected to rejoin the Bombers in Boston, and hopefully will make an impact for this team. We really need his bat back. IKF has been playing well, so we'd love to see a way to keep him, in the mix. Obviously, IKF can play left. Him and Bowers will mix in, and especially with Judge still out, obviously keep Bowers in right, put IKF in left. Boone seems to be comfortable doing that, but excited to see what he looks like coming back, as we got such a large boost last time that he was out and returned early in May. To wrap up this video, we'll talk about who's on deck, who is, coming down the pipeline for the Yankees in terms of series. So today is Thursday. The Yankees do have an off day today to travel up to Boston. We have a 3-game split there. We have off on Monday to travel back down. Before 6 games in a row, we have 3 hosting the Seattle Mariners, and also 3 hosting the red-hot Texas Rangers. So, sort of an important road trip for us here to be able to right the ship. The Yankees haven't been playing the best baseball right now. Again, obviously only took 1 of 3 from Boston. In the Bronx, would like to see the opposite result, take, at least 2 to get us back on track. Coming home to face a tough Seattle team that we played well against on the road, but you never know with the quality of starting pitching that they have. Going to have to continue to put up runs, which is something the Yankees have struggled with a little bit over the past 2 weeks. And then ultimately playing the Texas Rangers, one of, if not maybe the best offense in baseball right now. The pitching is pretty good as well, but a really dynamic offense, and we're really going to have to show up with some good arms and close these guys out, score runs to be able to take the advantage in this series. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you take away from this Mets Subway series. Again, just a 2-gamer, but I thought there were some good nuggets to take away and things to look forward to coming up over the next couple of games. But for now, that's going to do it for me, guys. This has been your boy Frankie Bones, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.